Welcome, I'm Hughes. This is episode 2 of the Llynch Trophy preview show. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like and share the video. I will be doing Llynch Trophy preview shows each week. There is an Llynch Trophy game, as well as additional content such as game highlights and so much more. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notification for the next video. Before I welcome Andreas, LYCOUDIS and the rest of today's guests onto my show, let's quickly recap the results from last week's Llynch Trophy competition group stages. From north to south, Newcastle were 90-67 winners versus Maestro. Derby got the 44-point win versus the Dragons. In Group 3, Nottingham Hoods won twice last week. They played in a week and got the win versus Loughborough. And then they followed that up on Sunday with a 113-67 win versus Leicester Warriors. Beneath them, Leicester Warriors and Loughborough Riders have since had a 1-1 record, with Leicester Warriors obviously losing to Nottingham on Sunday, as aforementioned, but then getting the win against Charmwood a Saturday in an 8-point game. Away, Leicester Warriors won 78-70 versus Charmwood Riders. And then yesterday, Loughborough beat local rivals Charmwood to share the second spot, and Charmwood sit bottom par with 0-2 records. In Group 2, Windsor Thames Valley Cavaliers and Reading Rockets come in the top two spots. Reading hit the road to Oakland's Wolves, got a 99-47 win. And then in the second versus third from last season NBL season, Thames Valley Cavaliers got the 82-74 win versus HEMEL Storm. And then on the south coast, we saw some great basketball last week, with on Saturday the reigning Llynch Trophy and NBL champions won a close game, 91-78. And then on Sunday, the Lions and Essex Rebels unfortunately suffered with L's versus Worthing and Solent respectively. And then also in the week, Essex Rebels hosted London Lions and got a nice win. So in that group, Solent sit top of the pile with 2 wins from 2 games. And then beneath them, Worthing and Essex both share a 1-1 record, while London Lions 2 have an 0-2 record. Hello, good evening, Chris Hughes from Rebound here for Llynch Trophy preview show episode 2. I've got Andreas LYCOUDIS on the show today. Welcome, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. A bit tired, a little bit bunged up and stuff. Really good.
Obviously, welcome back with Bradford this season. It's been an interesting season, very competitive. Talk us through pre-season. What's that been like for Bradford this year?
Probably a pre-season like not many, to be fair, for us. We've had some issues off the court with terms of venue and COVID and all the backroom stuff, and that actually takes a while to get sorted. So obviously coming into the Llynch Trophy, we only had 2 weeks of practice. We had a couple of guys missing because of illness, and a guy missing because of licensing issues. So it was a fun, interesting. Well, it wasn't fun. It was an interesting start to the season, but it's a long season. The actual regular season hasn't started yet. So,
and obviously, like for people that don't know, Bradford had to play a lot of their games in Nottingham last year due to COVID restrictions not allowing them in the arena. But you guys are back in the arena. How's that going to be for this season? Do you think that'll make it a little bit easier?
Yeah, definitely, because a home game for most. It's not too bad for me because I'm Sheffield. So for me to Nottingham, Derby, and that it's about 40 minutes. But for the guys who actually live up in Leeds, Bradford way, it's a good an hour and a half to 2 hour journey. So I think not having to travel that distance to play a home game and actually being a court where we practice at will be
for sure. And I know you said you had 2 weeks training. How's training been this week or last week? What are some of the things that have gone really well in training the last few days?
Everyone's just trying to compete and get match fit. Obviously, we're playing catch up with just about every single team in the league. We're probably the only team who hasn't had an actual pre-season. This is our pre-season that we're currently going through. So practice has been good, intense, trying to get through as much time as we can with the amount of time that we do have together on court. But it's good that we've got a good group of core guys back in the squad from last year, all familiar with playing, and then we've added a few pieces that will complement that really well. So training's been good, intense, and yeah.
I say you've got 2 games this weekend, but let's quickly recap. Last week, obviously, it was a bit of a loss to Derby. A lot of people have been hyping up Derby this off-season. What were some of the observations from you guys? What did Derby bring? What went well for them? And maybe sort of a bit about your guys' performance, what sort of could have done a little bit better?
So Derby are definitely one of the teams who've had a better off-season recruiting out of everyone. See, they've spent a bit of money, got some good players in, got some good players back. We've got a deep bench this year. Obviously got a good coach. So no, they impressed. You could tell that they'd had a few games under their belt. They'd been training for a while. They were all match fit. They played together really well. It's like they played together for a while. So I was impressed with them. I don't think, obviously the scoreline reflects that game only. Doesn't reflect where we are as a team and how we are as a team. It was a big loss. Hats off to Derby. They played really well. Made sure we didn't get back into the game when it looked like we were kind of getting our foot in a bit of rhythm towards half time. As soon as it came out second half, it was pumped up back to a lead. So I think obviously with us having a couple of players with injury, just coming back from injury, a couple of guys coming back from illnesses, like I said, got a couple of guys with licensing issues. Once we piece all these together and get a few more trainings and games under our belt, we'll be fine.
And obviously Derby and Bradford in particular had some talented judges last year with Blake, great, respective sides. From looking around the league, are there any sort of signings or youngsters you're like, oh wow, looking forward to see how they get on this season?
In terms of youngsters, I'm not too sure. Honestly, I'm not too sure. Charlie Brown played well against us. Obviously, nearly had a triple double, so I was impressed with him at the weekend. But in terms of around the league, young guys, I'm not too sure this year.
No, I think it's very quite competitively, a lot of different rosters, a lot to get used to. This weekend, you step up your pre-season versus Milescroft and Newcastle. What are you guys expecting from those two games this weekend?
We're expecting a bit of the both, really. They're both gonna get out, try and run in transition, shoot the ball well, play tough defense. I think I'm not too sure about Newcastle's team. I know obviously they've got the 3 Americans back that they had last year, and they've got obviously Martin Gale's playing for them now, so that's a good pick up for them. If they do go with that lineup and they go small ball, they're going to look to run, move the ball, quick rotations, shoot the 3 really well. So I think we do match up with them really well in terms of personnel. We do match up with both teams well. Obviously, last year Newcastle, we beat them twice, so we only lost by 3 in the last game of the season. So in terms of that, we do match up really well with them. So we'll be excited to see how that game goes. And I think Milescroft, they're a bit of an unknown quantity, really. We've not really seen them play. I'm not sure who they've got this year in terms of young guys. So, but they will be well coached, well drilled. Obviously, they'll have had a long pre-season again. So yeah, should be 2 good games. It'll be good for us as well to test ourselves and get ourselves into a full game playing rhythm.
And it's great to hear that you come back from fitness. What are your sort of personal goals, maybe team goals that you get out from this weekend?
Just to compete, really. That's going off last week. That's all we can do, really. Just compete. Obviously, teams know that we're going to come out. We're going to play hard. We're going to battle. We're going to be physical. That's a given. But as soon as we start finding our rhythm, I think that's what we'll be able to work on and come from this weekend is our offensive side, play with each other, getting our rhythm into finding out how we play together and how well we play together. And yeah, obviously 2 good teams to play against and do that against.
As we sort of look to the next season for the NBL, from what you've seen so far, any teams sort of stood out for you? You think they're doing really well this year?
Well, obviously you've got Solent. It's the given. They're going to be up there. I think the switch for Taylor Johnson going to HEMEL is going to be big, obviously, with the new coach. I think that's a great signing for them, with Sam Newman as well going over there. I'm excited to see what Derby and Hoods do. And obviously, like, right next to each other, they've both spent money. They've both recruited really, really well. So I'm impressed to see. Not impressed. I'm excited to see what they do this season. But then again, I'm not too fussed about what other teams do, really. I just want to focus on how we do and make sure we can win as many games as possible this year.
South and, focus on what you guys do to win. Having been at the team for a few seasons and knowing obviously what the roster look like, where do you feel this team is at the moment? How far you think you guys are away from being competitive into the league?
Every year we compete. Every year we beat teams. there's not a team where you could say, "No, we're never going to beat them." I think this year, in terms of when we're going to start, we'll always compete. We'll always compete. Whether we can maintain that for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes, that's going to be the factor. I think we're definitely not far off. We've had more training this week. Obviously, we've got the guys coming in again this weekend who are key players, who were missing last weekend. So yeah, I think we're there. We're ready to compete. And I think that this, like I said, this weekend will be a good test for us.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys get on. If you're watching this, I'll put the link to the live stream in the description if there's a stream. Before you go, talk to us a bit about training this week. What you guys be doing in training? What are some of your highlights from training this week as you get ready for the big weekend?
Just really pushing each other and getting after each other. Because obviously, like I said, we're playing catch up with everyone. It doesn't matter if you're unfit, you're coming back from injury, a bit ill. If you're at training, everyone you're going to go 100%. Everyone's working hard. We've got guys like Matt Armstrong, Billy. We had Jabari at the weekend, was arguably our best player under 17. We've got guys who have been here for a couple of years now. This weekend, Matty, Billy, they all stepped up when the chance was given to them. They played really well. They're going to play a vital role. They've been doing really well in training, so that's been a personal highlight for me. Seeing them guys do well, and as a team doing well as well. Obviously, each training session we're getting better. Like I said, we're getting after each other, and the intensity is always high. So I think we're trying to work on playing together, getting out, because defensively we'll be fine. Defensively, it's just effort. It's all about effort, and we'll make sure we're always giving that effort and trying to outwork teams. So that's about it. That's where we're at, really.
And any highlights, any like bloopers or any dunks, or anyone get a bit embarrassed in training?
I saw Billy get dunked on by Jermaine while we were in between drills. Jermaine, everyone knows Jermaine can easily dunk the ball, but he don't like to. He prefers a layup. So seeing Billy get banged on in training was funny. But yeah, no, other than that, highlights just how hard we're working together.
Good luck for the weekend. And again, thanks for coming on the show. All the best, and we'll chat soon, my friend.
Wonderful. Cheers for having me on.
I'm now joined by Raheem MAY-THOMPSON. Welcome. Hope you're well, my friend.
Yeah, I'm good. I hope you're all well too.
Yeah, good. As we record this, just the day after London Lions, which was amazing for the ladies in Europe. So great to see that. How did the move sort of come about to join Derby?
I was just at Leicester and obviously got injured, but I'm still at Loughborough doing my masters, so I wanted to stay in the area, and it makes sense to play for a team I played for in the past, especially seeing as it looks like we can do things in D1. So it just came up and it was the perfect time to go with it.
What are you guys looking forward to this season?
We're definitely trying to win some silverware, and I think with the team we have together this year, we can do that, and looking a lot stronger than last year with a few more players added. So I think we can challenge as well as with other teams. It's looking a lot more balanced across D1, and looks like it might not be such a one horse show kind of going on this year.
Yes, as you say, Solent have been the runaway champions last few seasons. With Coach Shaw and the new guys fitting with along with yourself, how's pre-season been? Have you guys been able to get regular hours in the gym?
We've got like a few sessions in. Probably like to have quite a bit more, but it's going so well. And had a few pre-season games, which we got good results in, but not as good as this weekend just gone. But I think we're just trying to get as much time in as possible and get used to playing with each other, so we can have more games like the last weekend, and hopefully improve upon things like that anyway.
And like you said, you won versus Bradford last weekend. How was that game for you guys? Do you feel like that's what we expect from Derby, or do you feel you've still got a few more things to come?
I still think we've got quite a lot more to do. We were missing a few people last weekend too. We're missing 2 players in the team, so I think there's more room for us to grow. And I think we can play better too. There were certain spurts in the game where we kind of looked like we hadn't played together for a while, and it showed. But then obviously more so most of the time we'd actually come together on the court. But I think we can just get more consistent and better as a team.
And I think that's a perfect opportunity for the Llynch Trophy. Last year it was introduced as a way to return to practice. This year sort of a bit of a pre-season. What are you guys expecting from this weekend's challenge? I think you guys got Marsdorf and Newcastle this weekend.
We'll look to just continue try and do the same thing we done last weekend. Obviously, it'll be a bit harder playing 2 games back to back, and especially on the road with the second game. But I think we'll just try and do the same thing and try and, like you said, the Llynch Trophy, it's kind of used as a pre-season, and I think just to gel and to kind of know where your team's at. So I think we'll definitely use it to just grow more as a team and see where we can get to. And it's definitely, I think it's really good just to have this before the regular season games start up, so you can kind of hit the ground running when the season does go ahead.
100%. And obviously you come with some BBL experience. Quickly touch on BBL. I feel like the last 3 years it's definitely upgraded and tougher competition. What are some of your thoughts about the BBL this season?
It's looking competitive too. I kind of am missing not playing in it, but I'll definitely be watching because it's always up in the air with who can win what, because the teams it's getting more balanced every year, and you love to see it. It's traditionally been maybe a handful of teams to kind of win things, but the last few years you can really see every team stepping it up, and you can't when the season would start, you'd be like, okay, this team's gonna get silverware, this team's gonna, and you can kind of tell who's gonna win what. Whereas you just these days you don't have a clue when this starts. You just left guessing really. So it'll be interesting to see because I don't know who can run away with what, and every team's got a little shot or something.
I can imagine you missing the BBL action this year, but you guys are involved in the BBL trophy. Hopefully you'll get a BBL side. Last season Derby went out in the first half versus Solent. Are there any BBL teams you sort of pencil up? Hope we get them in the draw. Is there any?
I don't know, maybe some of the newer made teams or something like that, just to, I know if we maybe had a shot at them, it could go our way or something. So you'd like to take them or some of the teams that aren't, contenders, just to get a chance, because certainly you love the buzz when an NBL team beats a BBL team like Solent did do.
Yeah, that was amazing, well, especially. But I think it's harder, like you said, the BBL is much tougher than it was maybe a couple of years ago. How do you feel the gap's coming? Maybe you haven't been in the NBL too long, but do you feel like the NBL's bridging that gap somewhat?
Definitely, with Solent performing as good as they have the last years, I think they, like, you could have substituted them into the BBL, and I think they probably would have made playoffs or they would have been in the mix, and it would have been interesting to see anyway. So it's definitely, some teams are definitely right there on it, I think, when you compare them.
Yeah, I think it's only a good thing, but you've got the NBL teams doing well, you've got BBL teams doing well. Obviously, this week, the WBBL in Europe, London Lions. Moving on to training this week, how's training been in sort of the build-up as you say you progress towards the regular season?
Yeah, it's been good. Practicing, have 2 practices a week and a shoot around 2. But I think we'd always like maybe a little bit more, just a bit extra. Everyone wants to win on our team, and we all want to be in the gym. So it's definitely, it's nice having that, but we probably want more, just to get along better and kind of understand how we play together and that. But it's all coming along pretty well so far.
And in the NBL, it's always recognised that there's a lot of talented coaches. What's it like playing with Matt Shaw in practice? What's he like as a coach?
He's a great coach. I've had him coach me before, and he really lets us play. He understands that we've got talent on the team, and that obviously with just a little structure, we can go out there and play and kind of get things done just from all the experience that all of us have on the team, and he trusts all of us really.
Yeah, I'd say it should be a really good game. In terms of like what coaches sort of said about these 2 games, is there anything particular that you feel you'll find hone on this weekend?
Just being consistent and probably getting good stops so we can lead with good offense, because I think every time we have played great defense, it has led to good offense. So I imagine we'll try and reiterate that. We'll try and push the ball and play as up tempo as we can at most times, whenever we can. So I imagine those like aspects we'll try and get better at, and just play together, run the plays, just do the little team things like that. And I imagine Matt will be happy if we can execute with all of that.
Of course, and also like as well as bonding on court as team is the off court stuff too. Have you guys done anything in particular to sort of build that team chemistry?
Not yet. I think we had planned a trip away or something like that too, but not everyone here yet. We were waiting until we get our last American in and everyone else together to do some team bond and stuff. But I imagine we'll probably do something like that. But everyone gets along really well. So I played on a lot of teams where maybe guys haven't got along the greatest, but this is definitely up there for one of the best team spirit teams I played on for sure.
Have any of the guys sort of earmarked other teams they think that don't do well this year?
Obviously everyone's always had their eye on Solent the last few years, so that they're definitely up there. But I think Nottingham have got a decent team together, so they're right in the area of us. There's a few other teams that are there, but they're like the standout ones that I guess. But honestly, I think we'll go into every game with the mindset of winning and what we should achieve rather than thinking about what other teams have.
That's a good mindset. Obviously, I'll put all the links to any of the live streams in the description. Before you go, obviously you guys got a double header this weekend. What are some of your preparations from now to the games to get you ready for not one but two games?
Lots of good rest, lots of water. I can sleep anywhere, so I usually on the away game I'll sleep on the way there and back probably. But we'll probably just try and take care of business on Saturday tomorrow and rest up, and so we can take on Newcastle the day after. Hopefully, not have everyone too tired after the first game. But I'm getting old. These double headers definitely do take it out of me.
Yeah, they're not a popular part of the fixture list. I don't think there's too many for you guys to worry about. I think later on in the trophy might be mix of National Cup. Thanks for coming on, my friend. Rest up and all the best for the weekend.
No, Long. Thanks very much. See you later.
I'm now joined by JOHDE Campbell of Nottingham. Welcome, JOHDE. Hope you're well.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me. Hope you're good too.
Yeah, not too bad. Be a great start for the Llynch and NBL, especially for you guys at Nottingham. And obviously last year at BBL. Let's start with BBL a bit quickly. How was that, be a young British player, getting your chance with BBL season of Sheffield Sharks? How was that for you?
Yeah, it was good. You know, I was playing Division 1 for Derby, and obviously the next step from Division 1 is BBL. So before I did go to Sheffield, I was talking with Nottingham Hoods, but I wanted to make that next step up to the next level. And obviously Sharks is where I ended up. I think it went well. I think I did have a very solid first year. Granted, my minutes were pretty limited, but I think when I did get the chance to go on, I think I did as much as I could. I was pretty efficient. I think I shot the ball pretty well. So yeah, I don't have any complaints with being at Sheffield at all.
Yeah, no, I thought you played well a bit. So I saw BBL player come along, rotate with Nick Lewis and the other guys, shoot the ball well from free. And obviously this is back into the MLD1. What are some of the stuff maybe that you learnt last year that you to bring forward to this year?
Last year, I mean, playing the game at the BBL level, I understood that, of course, there's still a lot more that I need to know. Like, I've been playing the game for a long time, but, you know, you're always learning. Like, being around guys like Mike Tuck, Nick Lewis, you know, Callum Jones, they all taught me a lot of things. Especially the biggest thing for me was the pace of the game. Like, when I first went into the BBL, like, I was sped up quite a lot, whether it was practice, whether it was in games. Like, my decision-making it was okay, but it could have been a lot better. But I think as the season went on, my decision-making got a lot better. I understood the pace of the game. I understood when to do things and when not to do things. And I think that's going to help me a lot this season as well.
I say it should be a great season. And You joined a very talented roster of Nottingham's total turnaround from the team ahead last year. How did that move come about, and what's your thoughts so far playing at Nottingham?
Well, like I said, before I went to Sheffield last year, Ben, I was already speaking with Ben, and I came down last year for a couple of sessions and stuff. And as I was at Sheffield and we went to the playoffs, Ben had already sent me a message before the season had finished saying that, you know, there's a spot for you next year. And that to me, like, really stood out. Like, it's just the little things, and to know that, like, he's already reached out to me, like, before my season's even finished, that was quite nice. So yeah, I know I'd been in constant contact with Ben pretty much all summer. I went down to a couple of scrimmages with some of the Nottingham Trent guys, some of the under-18 guys, just the different, like, junior clubs and a couple of the different teams. And that was good. And Ben was always 100 with me. Same with Lee, who's like the manager of the team. They both kept in constant contact. But yeah, it was just every single day, you know, he was talking, chatting, asking me, like, what I would like to do for the team. Like, just like I say, it was just the little things that kind of got me to come down to Notts. And I think Ben's a good coach. You know, he's played basketball, he's coached basketball at different levels. So I thought Nottingham would be a good fit for me as well.
Pre-season, what are some of the things that you did to help your game for this season?
Pre-season, well, to be honest, once I finished at Sheffield, I kind of just got I just got a job. So honestly, I took like a good month off from basketball. I'm not gonna lie, put on a little bit of weight. I did get a little bit chunky, but once I'd signed to Nottingham and I knew I was gonna be playing again, you know, I just quit the job, got back on the court. I was playing basketball like pretty much every day. And because I stay in Loughborough, you know, Loughborough University was open. There was always runs with the Loughborough Rider guys, the Leicester Rider guys. So I was going down to them. I was just trying to play as much basketball as I could, really. And then, like, a couple of weeks before the season started, I started going to the gym, just trying to get my body back in shape, get my legs used to running and jumping and all that kind of stuff. And then pre-season with Nottingham was actually really good because it was a lot of basketball and it was a lot of getting up and down, but it wasn't just playing basketball. Like, there was a lot more to it than just scrimmaging. You know, there was a lot of controlled scrimmages. There was we had little 3-minute games, 5-minute games, just kind of working on different kind of scenarios. So that was good as well. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Just playing basketball and going to the gym, really.
Yeah, you definitely need that little break. I know I had a little break this summer from doing the basketball stuff. And I know Coach Ben was saying last year scrimmages were crazy because of COVID, lack of place open, lots of guys in. Imagine this year's a bit more controlled. What were some of the sessions you did this summer that you thought you got a lot out of? Were like streams or sessions that you thought were more beneficial than others, or?
Well, really, to be honest, the main kind of things that benefit me most is when I'm working out by myself or when it's small groups, like individuals. I think Ben does a good job with us. You know, he does individuals, he does little 3-group, 4-group individuals. And I think that's really where most players benefit the most. Because when you're at a team practice, it's not too much getting up reps or anything like that. You know, it's a lot of going over plays and out of bounds and defense and stuff like that. So individuals, especially with Ben, he'll have me shooting the ball, he'll have Kyle making passes, and it's more specific to our kind of role. So I think Ben does a good job with that, and that's definitely where we all kind of excel when we're trying to get better as well.
Yeah, I see you guys post on social media. I know Carl and Luke always have this thing where they seem to be guarding each other in training. Yeah. And then you guys that you seem to do teams with a lot, and how does that dynamic go? What are some of the funny moments for those sort of training sessions been?
To be honest, I think Ben and Lee have done a great job recruiting for Nottingham. Everyone gets on really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've hit no kind of adversity yet. We've not had any losses or anything like that. But I can see, even if anything like that does happen, the group of guys that we got, no one's gonna clash. There's gonna be nothing like that. Everyone's gonna pick each other up. And like I said, I think Ben's done a great job with recruiting. our team this year.
Yeah, and you said you've not had any losses, but you handed losses to Leicester and Loughborough already this season in the Llynch
Yeah.
Trophy. The first game wasn't streamed, so we didn't really get a chance to see you guys play. What some things you guys did well from those first 2 games that you sort of take forward into the next one so forth?
Well, in the Loughborough game, like you said, the stream was a little bit bad in the first couple of quarters. The first quarter, I think it was. But I think we came out with a lot of energy. You know, we pushed the ball really well. We was all taking like really good shots. Like nothing was contested. Our defense was pretty solid. Like was pressuring full court. Ben's gonna watch this. So I'm gonna say we didn't tag very well, but we did pick up, and we did force them to turn the ball over, and we slowed them down a lot. And the same thing with Leicester. I mean, we've seen where their disadvantages was and our advantages was. We just abused it, taking good shots, getting the ball inside, playing. Defense wasn't great, but like I said, taking good shots was slowing them down, making them take contested shots. And yeah, I think we're going to do the same thing going all the way through the season, I hope.
Sounds like a good plan. And I know you said you've had training sort of 2 or 3 times this week, or will have this week. Yeah. What are some of the things you've done this week? What some funny moments like Mo dunked on anyone? Or what's some of the highlights been from training this week?
Training this week, what have we had? Well, we had practice yesterday. Yeah. One of the highlights, coach had to run with us. He ran 3 suicides for something that I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know why he was running. But he had to run 3 suicides, and he looked like he'd just done a whole marathon after he'd done, bless him. But you know, this week we're playing, so as you probably know, we're playing Charnwood this weekend. We don't really know what kind of defense they're gonna play. They're probably just gonna chuck a whole bunch of stuff at us. So, you know, we're going over like zone presses, what we can do against the zone. Just, you know, just little things, just so we're prepared for whatever they do for us, we're ready for it.
Yeah, you mentioned playing Charnwood. They've got they played Leicester and they also played Loughborough. 2 losses. I think they're unfortunately out, but I know someone said 2 of their best players have rested, so it's going to be an unknown factor. But someone who knows the NBL a bit and obviously seen the other games drawn this week, who are some of the other NBL teams that stick out for you from when the season starts proper next week?
NBL teams that are going to stick out for me, you know, a lot of teams in the south, you know, Solent, Reading have got a good team this year. Thames Valley have a good team. And I also think Derby have a really good team this year as well. So they're like my top 40. And of course us. Yep. I think our team is, of course us, I don't think I had to say that. But I do think our team is stacked as well. But I think that I was saying to a couple of guys this year that I think that Division 1 is a very tough league this year. Like there's a lot of really good players, you know. A couple of guys from BBL have dropped down, like RAHEEM, MAY-THOMPSON. So, you know, a lot of guys. So I think this year will be a good year and a very competitive year as well.
Yeah, I thought last year was competitive. This year seems even more so. You mentioned that the BBL players dropping down, but do you think any other guys follow your footsteps? Who some of the guys you think, oh, they really need to be part of a BBL franchise? There's probably quite many, but is there a few that stick out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few guys that could go up and play BBL, but like I said, it's one of them things where are you going to play or are you going to be sitting on the bench? And you know, when you love playing basketball, like sitting on the bench is one of the most hated things to do. Like I hate sitting on the bench, you know what I mean? So I guess it is just one of those ones where do you make the jump, go to the next level and sit on the bench, or do you stay playing Division 1 or whatever league you are in and play good minutes and contribute? So, but yeah, I could name a bunch of people in D1 that could probably play BBL.
And like you said, that's $1 million question there. And I'm sure you're looking forward to getting minutes, making a contribution on the court. And I really appreciate you coming on, especially after having practiced last night. Probably got 1 or 2 more before the weekend. Before you go, sort of, I'd love to get a little more insight from the team. In terms of the chemistry, because obviously Nottingham have got a lot of players coming in from different places and stuff. How's that team bonding been? Have you done much to sort of help that off the court? Or?
Yeah, our team. To be honest, our team bonding actually been. We all get on really, really well. Well, we've gone out for a couple of meals. We've gone on a night out. Sometimes on Saturdays we would go to condition in the morning. But to be fair, like a lot of us guys already knew each other going into the season. So I think it's been, like I said, Ben and Lee both knew what they was doing. Like they know we're all like pretty cool off the court anyway, and we've all either played with each other, or played against each other, or know of one another. So I think like I said, we are going to be a team that's strong on and off the court. So I think it's going to be a hard one to get between us all.
And obviously, you guys played 2 or 3 games last week. With them both wins, you'd qualify for the next round, I believe, unless I don't think there's a way you can't. I think you'd be first or second.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about who you'd like to play the next round, or is that you're happy to play anyone?
To be honest, I think with a team like we've got, I think we'd be happy to play anyone. Like, I think we've had 2 very comfortable wins, 2 40-plus point wins. No offense to the 2 teams or the Charnwood, but I think it will be nice to go up against a team where it's going to be a close game, where we can see what our faults are, like what we need to do better and stuff like that. So I don't think any of us mind who we go up against.
That sounds fighting talk there. Let's say thank you for coming on, and all the best for the weekend and all the best season. I'll be looking at how you guys get on with great interest. Thanks for coming on, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
I'm joined by SHAQ from HEMEL. Welcome, my guy. Thanks for fitting us in. I know it's a busy week. A lot of the NBL guys got to balance work and playing commitments among other things. I appreciate you coming. How's your week been?
My week's been good, thank you. I appreciate you having me on as well.
For me, the biggest highlight is having Barcelona back. Obviously, last week didn't go the way maybe you guys had planned, but how's it been for you having Barcelona back after the pre-season?
Oh, it's great. I can't lie. Just being able to get back in the back at our home court. Oh my God, the fans! You don't realize until you get back, like how much of an impact the fans have. Yeah, it's great being back in our home court. Yeah, it's been great.
I'm always very envious of the Hemel fan base. It's Hemel seem to have it all right, getting them all in the same colour, and they're noisy, loud, big crowds. So I've got to get down there this season. How was it playing in front of fans, in particular, that last game?
Oh, the last game, it was. Well, there's a big difference from going from sort of like when last season there was a lot of we had to motivate ourselves a lot of times. I mean, naturally, it's part of the game anyway, but it's just a different energy. You step onto the court and obviously you're hyped up, the fans are hyped up, the energy there, everything's just buzzing. It's great, man. It literally, like, just shots, misses, whatever's happening on the court, you always got the support of the fans there with you. It's just, it's a whole different kind of vibe. Completely different.
And I know you guys had a bit of pre-seasons and friendlies here and there. How are the friendlies been? How's pre-season been? How are you guys feeling heading into this new season?
Pre-seasons have been good. I mean, Coach Drew and Coach Mike are very meticulous and organized when it comes to practice, because we only have 2 sessions a week. So they really try to drive home like the effectiveness of what we do in practice. So we're learning a lot every time and we're getting progressively better every single time. It's been very difficult in terms of us not having our full squad together at first, due to the obviously Americans coming late. But yeah, once everyone was there, it didn't take long to get them up to speed with everything that we've been running. Both very high IQ players, So yeah, it's just been competitive from there. Everyone's just been learning, getting better. Everyone's sort of coming together now and starting to really come together as a team. And then we've been able to take that into the games. Yeah, it's been a learning. It's been a lot of learning going on, especially from our first friendly game against Team USA. That was fun. That was a very fun game. Yeah.
I can imagine because I saw a few for Team USA games. They had amazing, talented rosters and probably gave you a really good workout. What were some of the things you took from those games? Because the ones I saw were quite high energy. They good shooting. What were some things you took from that game?
Well, mainly it was, I mean, when it comes to the USA teams, it's hard because we don't have a scout prior to the game because you don't really know what kind of roster they're going to come with. So our preparation going into those games was more focused on our things. So like how we ran our stuff in that game. So defensively was a big one. So just having everyone on the same page defensively was huge because you don't know who can do what really. So, you know, you have to learn during the game and make adjustments during the game. And that keeps everyone sort of in tune with each other. So I feel like we learned a lot about our defensive principles and where we lacked and where we needed to grow from there. And then from there, it was just, you know, execution of our plays, how well we sort of gelling together in certain areas. And, you know, it was just, yeah, it's just a lot of learning going on from that as well.
I can imagine. And go from like no scout to a good scout. As I saw when I was watching OAKLANDS Reading, I saw Mike in the crowd probably taking a lot of notes and listening to the Reading chairman. Do you guys feel ready for these two games? What's some of the things that you guys earmarked as potential things to watch out for against both sides?
Oh, well, Oaklands especially, they're a young squad. So naturally, they are going to be running non-stop. So we got to be able to match their energy, regardless of the fact that we have more experience in our squad, as opposed to them. It's basketball at the end of the day. So, you know, anything can happen. So we need to be prepared for anything, to be honest. So we have to match their energy. When they're pushing, we have to push right back, and we have to just stay poised and controlled throughout the game. And yeah, mainly execution is our sort of main focus.
And obviously, you know, you've had your own training, your own preparation. I mean, if I get guys on the show, I love to hear the insights training. How's training been for you? Have there been sort of any highlights? Anyone having to do extra suicide runs, bloopers? What sort of things have stood out for you from this week and maybe last week in training?
Just the high energy in practice has been great. Like we all push each other in practice, and I feel like the HEMEL organization has done a great job of putting together a group of guys that can be held accountable and are willing to hold each other accountable. So when everyone is doing well, we're praising each other. If we do wrong, we can take criticism and sort of keep each other in line. And that sort of just allows us to compete hard without, you know, people being too emotional and things like that. And the environment's great. It is great fun, honestly. So obviously, due to the talented players on our roster, people get broken on every now and then in practice. You know, a couple ankles are going here and there, a couple dunks. You know, Greg is a flipping beast. So yeah, just try not to get caught under the rim when he's got a head of steam.
Any notable ones you could mention, or without getting in trouble too much?
Say it again, sorry? Any
notable victims you didn't mention without getting into trouble too much?
Oh no, I'm not gonna put anyone out there like that. You almost caught me though. I'm not gonna lie. Almost caught me.
Oh, better luck next time. Like you say, it's a great organisation on off court. HEMEL obviously got to the final last year playoffs and gone from 4th to 3rd. Looking forward to see how they get on next. What's sort of the talk inside the camp? What are people think? There's a lot of teams that have upskilled. There's a lot of changes. Where do you guys sort of see yourself more in the mix?
Well, we're a group of competitors. We're trying to win every game. Yeah, there is no. We're very aware of the talent in the league. You know, there are some serious teams out there this season, especially. Teams have made big moves, added some big pieces. So it's going to be very competitive. But we are right up there with them. And there's no doubt that we come into every game expecting to win every game. So I think we put ourselves right up there with the best.
It sounds like a good mentality to have. That's probably one that's coach fed down to you guys.
Mhm.
Either from what you've seen in terms of player transfers or games you've watched or results from the Llynch Trophy so far. Who are some of those teams that have really impressed you so far?
I would say Reading is looking impressive. Yeah, Reading is looking very impressive this season, especially because of how well coached they are. Solent always, yeah, I mean, you have to, right? They need their props because Solent. And also Derby is looking quite promising this season. Yeah, I think they got I forget his name. The big strong.
Tyson Wells, I think else they've got now. They got Jonas Diedrich from Loughborough, Sol Tyson Wells. We'll come back to that in a second. But you mentioned Reading, and obviously you've got them this weekend, and they've got the import Cartagena, they've got Reece Pinnerbat, they've got Jazz Baines, they've got Lewis Champion too.
Yeah, great.
Obviously, without giving too much away or bigging them up too much, making sort of a team talk, as you say. What are some of the things that you can expect to see from them this weekend and maybe this season?
Well, we can expect them to be a lot more poised than they've been prior. I mean, not to say that was really a downside of them previously, but I feel like their team will be a lot more poised this season. I feel like they got a lot more firepower as well, so they're going to be, defensively, we're going to have to be really tuned in for them. Yeah, they got some good guys in their squad right now. So yeah, it's looking interesting. We'll be ready for them.
I think so. They had that added bonus for Taylor Classic, and I know you guys had a few pre-season friendlies. Out of so obviously you said some of you players aren't back. Without giving away too much away, is the squad that is in training this week the full squad, or do you still have guys who haven't had as much training as others still to come back in?
No, we've got our full squad ready now, and yeah, everyone's really getting to the flow of our system this year and like how things are running, and we're just the improvements we're seeing every practice after every practice is very good. So I'm interested to see where we can really take this, to be honest. Really and truly, I'm excited to see where this can go. But the squad is looking strong.
Obviously, I really appreciate you coming on, especially you got 2 games. You probably got added work to do with B2. How does the preparation sort of compare between if you just got a 1 game or you got a double header fixture to look forward?
Usually, Coach Drew has really this season and last season has been very. He tries to drive the message home of next game mentality. So we're never trying to focus on too much at one time. So we take it 1 game at a time. So we look at what's ahead of us, put all of our effort and energy into that, and then we move on to the next one. So there's no sort of back and forth of attention. No one's trying to take your foot off the gas at any point to conserve energy. We go all out for that 1 game, and then we turn our focus to the next one.
Yeah, it should be an interesting weekend. Like you say, you've got Oaklands and Reading. So I was just trying to look through the squad for Derby. I couldn't find a player we're on about, but like you said, they've got such a stacked squad. Like they're going to be ones to watch too. Obviously, you mentioned Solent and Reading. Anyone else you think might mix that sort of top 6?
Thames Valley, I mean, they beat us, right? Well, yeah, Thames Valley, they're tough on the boards. You really got to box them out as well. They'll second chance points can kill teams. So, yeah, Hakeem. Oh, man, yeah. Keeping them off the boards. But, yeah, they've got a good squad, especially their, what's his name? Bonner, is it?
Yeah, Jacoby Bonner, yeah.
Yeah,
from Miami.
Yeah, he's a nice pickup for them. Honestly, he's very strong guards. I feel like he'll do a lot for them this season. Obviously, they picked up AJ Roberts as well. Still got Blaine. That Blaine always does his thing, you know. Yeah, they're always going to be a stacked squad. So
Definitely. I think it's going to be a very exciting season. Thanks for coming on. I'll post the links to your live streams in the description on social media. Stay safe. A last message to HEMEL fans, sort of like welcome back. What would you like to say to them?
HEMEL fans, thank you for your support last season, because it was a whole, like, you felt the fans' presence, even though they weren't there with us, if that makes sense. So yeah, thank you for your support last season, and also thank you for your continued support this season. And keep the energy coming, man. We're gonna give you some good games this season.
I'm with Bushman, Ray AKPOFURE of Essex Rebels. Welcome, my guy.
Yes. How are you doing, my friend?
We're good.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I saw you at the weekend, obviously at Essex had the other commentator you did for Solent, and obviously I saw you at Summer Ball Out. I went there for my first time. Really enjoyed it. Let's start the summer, because obviously we've had basketball back. It's fun. Outdoors, in the sun, ball out. You were there in the finals weekend. How was it? How was some of your highlights from that competition?
I think this was probably not just my most successful summer playing basketball, but the Argyle Kings. What we did this summer was something we've never really sort of done before. You know, I have to give a special shout out to SHAQUILLE, to Bernard and Prince, because what we did in Birmingham was incredible. You know, beating a GB under-23s team to qualify for the finals. The way we played, you know, bringing a level of entertainment, and I just had a great time. And it wasn't just, you know, ball out and everything. Ball out was amazing. The whole tournament's just a vibe. But I have to give a special shout out to Craig Sorrell and the Bridport guys for what they did over there, because that's probably one of the best tournaments I've played in a very long time. And we had a great time. Buzzer beater from SHAQ to get us to the finals, and we learned a lot. And I'm, you know, really excited to, you know, be able to use what I learned to, you know, for the NBL season and just keep it moving from there, you know. But it was an awesome summer, absolutely awesome summer.
For sure, there's so many great tournaments in summer. You get back to match fitness. Tell me a bit more about that tournament. What were some of the other things, and how did you meet the guys? You said you were grateful for them. Put that tournament on, you know, what are some of the highlights from that one?
Oh, Bridport. I think the biggest thing about Bridport is the vibe, the energy. You know, it was very well set up. You know, 2-day tournament. Craig Sorrell worked really hard to he turned a school car park into, you know, a full court for 3-on-3 basketball. The court's fantastic. The baskets are fantastic. All of the players are camping on site, so everyone's around. They had the whole nightlife thing sorted. Everything was great. And even if the weather was bad, they had like options to go, you know, inside and outside and everything. And just the whole vibe was just awesome. Everyone had highlights in Bridport. Everyone had highlights. Like I said, SHAQ scored a buzzer beater 3 to send us to the finals, and, you know, having an opportunity to play against Will Neighbor and them in the finals, and, you know, giving them a run for their money, you know, making them nervous. Obviously, they came away with the win, but, you know, they had to earn every point. And, you know, we really made a statement that tournament to say, yeah, we belong at an elite level. And it was just so fantastic to sort of be around. So again, special shout out to SHAQ, special shout out to Bernard for Bridport, and shouts to Big Mike and Joel and KD as well, because, you know, they showed us a lot of love over there. We were playing against them and everything, but, you know, those are my guys too. I have to show them love.
I'm sure they watch. I remember when I first had you on my show, didn't know much about you then, and it was like 800 people coming, hey Bushman, hey Bushman. So I'm sure they're all listening to every word that's coming from you. And I know we got some exciting plans to collaborate in the future. Obviously, amazing opportunity, Real Neighbour, London Lions guy, and obviously said about great facilities. That leads me on to my next point. Obviously, Commiseration Sunday at Solent, and obviously But also, congratulations against the Lions. So you split 1-1 record, don't you, last game? What are some of the things that you've taken away from those first two Llynch Trophy games?
I think from the first game mainly, it's to not take our foot off the gas, because there was a point in the game where we had managed to stretch the lead to maybe 16, 17 points, and we kind of got, I guess, a little bit too relaxed. Yeah, it was our first, competitive game as a unit, but we, coach did a good job of, letting us know what we should run and giving us the confidence to play, like he says, fast and free. And, there was a lot of really, really good things we did against Barking that, we could, at the London Lions, rather, that we could, take moving forward. We just need to just, if a team's down, we need to make sure we continue to kick them when they are and not give them an opportunity to see a way back into games. And I'm sure my teammates, they know that they can see what they can do. They know their qualities. We know our qualities and we believe in our qualities. So, I have all the faith in that. And I think with the Solent game, that, we knew going into it they're the best team in the country. They've got loads of excellent players. Gentry killed us from free. They've got, excellent defensive players, Travis Charles and Orland manning the inside as well. But I think what happened was we got punched in the mouth first, and it took us a long time to sort of get off the mat after they punched us. So, they really, really ran with it. We had a slow start, and they just, as soon as Solent get going, they just keep going and going and going. So, the first half was a bit disappointing from our side because, we felt like we could do a lot more. But the second half was, all the evidence that we needed to, show that we can perform at that level, because it was a very even half. Solent started to sort of let up a lot of cracks. We started to play a little bit better defense and run the ball a bit better and play to our strengths. And we was able to play again fast and free. And even though the scoreboard, shows what it shows, I believe in the coaching. I believe in the players. They showed the evidence that we belong at that level. It's just a case of showing a level of consistency.
Indeed, and the Llynch Trophy's already shown us some of the things we can expect. We've seen Derby do well, we've seen Solent do well, we've seen how competitive the league is, and obviously for Lions, young side, but a lot of talent with James Harrison, Chemuna. I know Coach James Fear is very excited about Samutri Welsh. What are some things that they have got going for them?
Yeah, it is. I feel like every team has someone. Every team has something. It's literally just a case of what team's better at stopping the talents that other teams have, or at least limiting them. We have to play against Worthing on the weekend, and they're one of the better teams in the league, and we know of their talents, so it's literally a case of who can stop who, and it's just a bit crazy. Barking a very talented side, very well coached, but also very young, so the experience will be great for them. And I think Barking will get better with time. And that's the same for us. We're a very young team too. We're learning as we go, but I think we could give a lot of teams in the league problems because of how balanced we are. I feel like we have a very balanced offensive threat. Anyone on our team can go off for 20 inside and outside, and we just work really hard for each other. And I think that's something that we have that I feel like moving forward, we can use to our advantage to disappoint a lot of teams. A lot of people will be looking at us and thinking they're going to get wins, but I don't think so. Like I was talking to you off air, every team between 3 and 9 can finish in the top 4, and that we're in that mix, and we're going to do everything we can to get into that top 4 and get a home playoff game. That's the aim.
Obviously, you got a split record, 1-1. What were some things that Coach thought you did well in the first game and maybe didn't do so well in the second game, but you take forward the first as Worthing?
Intent. We played with again, I keep using the phrase fast and free. Coach keeps trying to sort of drill that into our heads. Play free, play fast, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your game. We were so much more free against Barking. We played with a lot more intent. We took things in, we implemented them the way they were meant to be implemented, and ultimately did really, really well. And Solent just did a really good job of, again, they punched us early and they really suffocated us. From a defensive standpoint, it was really difficult for us to score in the first half. They did a really good job of funneling us into certain areas of the court, and it took us a while to see it. But I think moving forward, I think we need to do a better job of finding adjustments early or making adjustments early as a team. We don't have to rely on the coach. We're on the court, so if we see something, we can make minor adjustments early, knowing when to set screens in certain places and do move into different areas of the court. And I think the two lessons that we have learned from those two games, we can use them going into Worthing. Continuing to play with a confidence, with a swagger, being able to express ourselves on the court, playing fast, playing free, playing with intent. And I think that's the biggest one, just playing with intent,
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought when I watched you guys on Sunday, I felt the second half was slightly different. You were taking more risks, running at them, because I felt the first half what maybe did go well was Solo getting back in position too easily, and by making you sort of force that shot clock down to 0, then it was a harder shot. Whereas in the second half, you were running it more, you were finding spaces, running lanes. Obviously, you got Worthing this weekend.
Yes.
What does this week look like for you guys? Are you going to be training much in this week? What's the plan for this weekend for a big game?
Training every day. We'll have strength and conditioning and things that the team needs to do daily. We're watching a lot of film, doing a lot of prep work, spending a lot of time on the court, and just pretty much just not just doing our homework on who we're playing and everything like that. It's more seeing what we can do, how we can be effective, and making Worthing have to do something to account for what we are capable of. So the coaching staff has done a really good job. Coach Ross has done a fantastic job keeping, all the players on their toes and, making sure they have the right mentality moving forward. And yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it there. I love it at Essex. And we're just going to do what we can to stay locked in because we know Worthing one of the better teams in the country.
It's great to see that you're happy in your environment and, if your new club. Worthing played Saturday, got the L, and then they got the win versus London Lions. I believe first league now on YouTube, so you guys can watch that film now as it wasn't streamed live.
Yes.
What are some things that impressed you with Worthing so far from looking at the film or discussions in the camp?
In a word, HAFEEZ. That's my guy. Playing with each other at Oaklands, well, when we used to be Essex Leopards. And, we've just been in touch since. We have a mutual respect for each other. That's my guy. We work out together in the summertime. We do everything together. But he really looks comfortable at Worthing. And I feel like if he's going to be another scoring threat for them, then Worthing are going to be a very, very difficult team to beat. So I was really impressed with how he's, adjusted so quickly, because he was signed not so long ago. He's really been able to embed himself with the club and everything. And there are so many people that, are complimentary of him, guys like Tom Ward, guys like Ishmael Fontaine sort of taking the defensive responsibilities away from HAFEEZ and allowing HAFEEZ to play a little bit more free. It's just nice to see. So us as the Rebels, we're going to do what we can to not just slow him down, but keep him extremely quiet as well. I'm really looking forward to that matchup, actually. I'm hoping I have to guard him. That's a matchup I really want, and HAFEEZ knows this, so I'm looking forward to it.
Are you sort of like a talker on the court when you get your guys here from playing games? What sort of words will you be saying to HAFEEZ during the game?
Yeah, I talk a lot. I do what I can to throw them off. I'll do all the little things that referees don't see. Might step on shoes. I have a little shirt tug here and there. I do all of the little dirty things, but I'm also loud when I play. Like if I do something impactful on the court, I make sure the other person knows about it. So it's up to that person if they shrink or if they want to sort of stand up and be counted. But like me and HAFEEZ will go back and forth. That's just what we do. We're both really loud when we play against each other. We're both really vocal. We both know each other really well. We know what buttons to push. So like, I'm really, really looking forward to it, man. I really am.
And then also in the other game in the group, the Lions head to the Solent Nest. What sort of words encouragement can you give them? Because in the past, the Lions have actually done quite well as marking against Solent. What do you think will happen this weekend? And what would you say to encourage Lions? What sort of team talk would you give them?
With regards to what I think will happen this weekend, I think Solent have just have too much firepower. They have too much options, too much scoring options. I think Travis will actually have a little bit more of an impactful game against them. I think, Orland, they just have a lot more IQ, a lot more experience. I think that's the biggest thing, a lot of experience. And they know when a team is down, they just know to keep going and keep going and keep going. And the scoreline might stretch a bit too much. But the only thing I'll say to the Lions is just keep playing. Because, playing games like these would give you that extra level of experience that you can take moving forward, playing against other teams and things like that. Even when you have to go back there, because you notice they're on this trophy, we have to go back to Solent. When you go back there again, okay, cool, I can expect this. We're early in our training. We're still getting ready for the season. Just keep playing. If you can play with a level of intent, then what the result that you get from that is, it wouldn't just be on the scoreline. It would just be, this is what I've learned from this, and so I'm going to take moving forward. So I would just keep playing.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good advice, and I'm really looking forward to see how you guys are on this weekend. Finally, before you go, let's just recap the Llynch. Obviously, last week, Newcastle won versus Musgrave. Derby beat Bradford. Nottingham won twice. Loughborough split 1-1 record after winning tonight. TBC beat HEMEL. Oaklands lost to Reading. Out of those teams, I know we've said many times off air, on air, we think it's going to be a tight season.
Yes.
From last weekend, what teams really impressed you last weekend?
Again, like we were just talking about Worthing, I love Worthing. But Nottingham, I think Nottingham are going to be a huge, huge problem this year. They've really retooled their roster. Seeing how dominant they've been able to be against some of the teams they've played so far, and signing Big Mo plays a huge part in that. Obviously, my boy Victor over there is killing as well. And they just look like a real unit. I think teams that, when we go over there, it's going to be a hard time for whoever goes up there, especially with Big Mo just being his 7 foot, whatever self, and wide as a truck, having to deal with that. But
obviously, always appreciate you coming on. And like we said earlier, we've got something exciting lined up for these days. Just need to fine-tune details, but we'll release all the details soon. Thank you for always coming on, my guy. I know you've been working. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you. Shout Argyle Kings, shout Essex Rebels. I'll see you guys on the weekend.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and share this video ahead of the Llynch Trophy Game Week 2. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Last week we did all teams need a star import player. This week I'll leave you this gem following London Lions 76-46 Euro Cup qualifier win versus Gran Canaria. Here's Mark Clark's post-game team talk. The following clip contains words some people may find offensive.
Georgia
Thank you again for watching. Click here for episode 1. The guys not only previewed episode 1, but they also gave their NBL predictions. And click here to see highlights from London Lions vs Rankin area. And also don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.